Welcome back to Kind Regards the show. Have you ever seen those Buddhist monks who on like the Guinness Book of World Records TV show or whatever, and they walk across like hot coals with bare feet? You ever seen this? I remember seeing this as a kid, and it completely baffled me. It was so foreign to me that this was possible, that you could walk across hot coals in bare feet. You know, they do it for like 20 yards or something. Like it's just some insane amount of, like, it's not like they just run across them really quick. They like walk slowly across them without even going like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Like they just, they just walk across them like they're walking across sand. This blew me away to such a degree that I didn't even think about it until decades later. I had no way of comprehending this. How could this be possible? How could a person endure this pain completely stoically? How could this be true? And I think I know how. I think I understand now how all these years later. And I'd like to talk to you about that. Another example is, people on like beds of nails or what else? What else do people do? The Iceman who does, cold water immersion, and like, I suppose he has like a breathing technique behind him, which is not exactly what I'm going to talk about, but what I'm going to talk about is no doubt in play there. But feats of extraordinary endurance and voluntary extraordinary endurance. It's one thing to be in a POW camp and the treatment is terrible, but you can't escape, so you have to endure. In a sense, you have no choice but to be in this circumstance. But people who put themselves in painful circumstances on purpose, how do they do this? And is this available to us too? That's a huge question. Are these people freaks of nature who we just go like, oh, well, they're Asian monks, so that, they're built different or something. I don't know who thinks that, but or is this available to everyone? Do we all have the ability to endure massive amounts of pain or the lack of pleasure, right? The aesthetic life where we, deny ourselves of bodily pleasures. Are we all able to do this? Because it feels like we wouldn't be able to. Most of our days, most of our lives are consumed with getting good experiences, getting pleasurable experiences, acquiring them, and then also doing away with bad experiences. Oh, I'm sore, my muscles are tight. Well, I'll stretch them, and that will be a satisfying way to relieve my suffering. Oh, I need to eat. I have hunger. Well, I got to get rid of that hunger. I don't like hunger. And instead, I'll eat something delicious. And then that way, I won't have to endure my hunger anymore. And on and on. I feel this pressure of the assignment that I have to do. Well, I'll do the assignment and then I'll feel relieved. And thank goodness I'll be relieved then. And on it goes. We're constantly like soothing ourselves with pleasurable experiences and avoiding unpleasurable experiences. This is the basis of hedonism, which is an account of happiness that says more pleasure equals more happiness, more pain equals less happiness. All of happiness and fulfillment is basically just maximizing pleasure and minimizing pain. This has naturally got a kind of a bad rap philosophically, hedonism, because it seems like there's more to life than just pleasure and pain. Surely we're not just out here doing whatever feels pleasurable until it runs out of pleasure, and then we move on to the next thing. And yet, at the same time, in a lot of pretty fundamental ways, we do this. And so is there more to life? Is there more to satisfaction in life than this? And what are the ascetics up to? What are these monks who walk across burning coals up to? I believe that I first understood what they were up to when I went on a 10-day Vipassana meditation course. Vipassana meditation is an ancient Indian, but it kind of escapes to Burma and then is cultivated in Burma for a while and then comes back to India thousands of years later. Meditation technique, which was pioneered by the Buddha, by Siddhartha Gautama, if that's how you say it, if that is your real name. And essentially it's a body scan meditation where you systematically feel, the crown of the head, and then you feel sensations of the crown of the head. Yep, felt some sensations. Then you move a little bit. Did I feel sensations there? No, not yet. You wait for a bit. Oh, yep, there's some sensation. Okay, move to the next bit. And you do this systematically down your whole body, and then you start again. You just keep doing that. If you don't feel sensation, then you wait for about 30 seconds. And if you still don't feel sensation, you just move on. And generally, you build up a sensitivity so that you, over a few days' time, you start feeling sensations everywhere. The Vipassana, that's the basic Vipassana method. The value of doing this will be revealed in a minute or so. But Vipassana I want to talk a little bit more about the structure of the meditation retreats first, rather than the benefits of the meditation technique. So the structure of the course is, so you arrive on the first day in the afternoon, and you kind of talk to some people and hang out, and then you go to the meditation hall, and they say, okay, noble silence is on. You can't talk to anyone. You can't talk to yourself. You can't make eye contact with anyone, and you can't do any sign language. All you can do, or the only person you can talk to, is the assistant teacher at the specified times, and you can talk to the course manager if you need more bedding, or you need medication or something like that. You talk to this one specified person. Other than that, you're on your own. You're silent. You just listen to the instruction. You meditate. There's no phones. There's no TVs. There's no radio. There's no reading. There's no writing. There's no exercise except for walking. You can walk in these walking paths, but you can't do yoga or anything like that. And you get 2 meals a day, sometimes 3 meals a day, I learned, but on my bloody course, we only had 2 meals a day, so stitch up. So 2 meals a day, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the whole of the course. You don't really have much to do. You have meditation sessions for 10.5 hours each day. You wake up at 4, meditate for 2 hours, you have breakfast, meditate for an hour, have a short break, meditate for 2 hours, and it just kind of keeps going like that. There's a pretty big break for lunch and rest, which is 2-hour break for lunch and rest. But essentially most of the day is just doing meditation, doing this specific form of meditation. Within the 10.5 hours of meditation, there's 3 1-hour blocks of meditation called the group sits, or the group meditations. And in these meditations, there is kind of special rules. One of them is that you're not allowed to move. You're not allowed to open your eyes. You have to sit still. And if you have an itch or you have a pain and you want to relieve the pain, you can't. You just have to sit with the pain. You have to sit with the itch and watch it, let it change, and just sort of keep doing the body scan. You have an itch, you get distracted by the itch for a minute, and then you go, oh, well, I was doing my knee, actually. I was scanning this part of my knee. So you keep scanning that part of your knee. Oh, yep, sensation, next part. Keep doing that. Oh, got distracted by some pain over there, but I'm going to come back, bring my attention back to this part of my knee, and keep going. So these group sits, I don't know if you've ever sat cross-legged for very long as an adult. As a child, it was somehow totally fine, but as an adult, it gets pretty painful pretty quick. Knees start to hurt, the lower back starts to hurt, often our hips can be really tight, and so we bend over, and then that bending over, we get really sore muscles and joints. My shoulders get really sore, but whatever. The point is that there's a lot of pain, and even with a little meditation stool, like this one here, where you sort of sit with your calves underneath it, and your bum is up here. And so it kind of helps, and because it's at an angle, as you can see, it kind of straightens your back up. And so that's more comfortable, but you still get a lot of pain. That's sort of inevitable when your body is still for an hour. And when I went through this, I'll talk now about the technique. Why is the technique good? Examining our sensations and then moving on to the next bit and examining those sensations. Well, a part of the critical sort of piece here is that we're not supposed to be thinking. We're not supposed to be, oh, I've got this pain in my knee. And then all of a sudden, our mind starts thinking naturally. It's conditioned to start thinking, oh, I've got knee pain. Oh, I'm probably only 10 minutes into this group sit. It's going to continue for the whole 50 minutes and I'm going to be so sore excuse me, what if it does permanent damage? What if it never goes away? What if future projections? Oh, so many future projections. This is all just thought. This is not real. This is, who knows what's going to happen? You don't know. Maybe it'll go away. But thought all of a sudden comes to the rescue, in inverted commas, and tries to figure out what's going on and what to do and how to avoid this pain. Quick, avoid the pain. And if it can't, then it goes into suffering mode. It goes into real, I'm not free. I can't relieve this. This is so terrible. When's it going to end? And that's real sort of suffering. Suffering as opposed here to pain, just quickly. Like, pain is sensation. It's like a burning sensation or a tingling sensation or pressure. That's much more closer to the language of sensation as it appears to us. Suffering, on the other hand, is our mental anguish about the sensation. Does that make sense? So you see, what's the point of this meditation? That's what I'm trying to stick to right now. What's the point of this meditation? Well, we're trying to alleviate our suffering by just concentrating on the pain when we get to that part of our body that the pain is in. And when we get to that part of the body, we examine it as clearly like a mirror, like a clean mirror. Instead of drawing circles around it and going, oh, that part's bad, oh, drawing big lines through it, oh, this is terrible, oh, I hate this. That's not a clean mirror. We're just trying to be a clean mirror and show our sensations as they are, as they're arising, as they're evolving. And naturally, this is one of the big truths of the meditation course, everything changes. Nothing stays the same. Everything is constantly changing. Sensations are arising and disappearing really fast, as they are in like tingling sensations. Or with burning sensations, they arise slowly and the heat builds and then it fades away slowly. And so either way, whether it's a long sensation or a succession of short sensations, everything changes. And when we examine with a clean mirror, a mirror that is not tainted by these ideas of maybe it'll never change, oh, maybe the future's going to be like this, oh, I'm in pain for so long. When we set that aside and we say, let's just examine it for what it is. What's going on? Oh, I feel this. Okay, now I'm going to move to this other part of my knee. Oh, that part of my knee feels this. Oh, and it's changing. Oh, and it changed again. It's a little bit different now. We're remaining in the present moment because we're examining. We need presence to feel things as they are, to feel actual sensation. And by doing so, we sever the suffering that comes from the prediction of future pain. It's a strange thing with pain that most of the suffering induced by pain is anticipation of future suffering. It's anticipation of future pain. And when we cease to do that, it's actually much easier to sit with pain than you might think. And I would be sitting there and I'd get pain in my knee or something, and I'd be like, oh, this is terrible, I'm suffering so much. And then I go, oh, I'm actually only suffering because I'm in my head about this, because I'm fantasizing about how I could leave this course and say, it's terrible, you're making me suffer so much, I'm going to leave here and then I won't have to suffer, I can get cheeseburgers and feel good again. But as soon as I would set that thought aside, catch myself thinking, set that thought aside and go like, okay, what is actually going on here for me? Okay. Okay, it's just this feeling. Okay, now it's just that. Oh, it's a bit different. Oh, now it's back to, it feels pretty similar to how it felt before. Oh, interesting. Then all of a sudden you're just with pain, the same pain that was unendurable before, that you were going, oh, how am I going to do this? I should leave. Oh, all of a sudden is totally manageable. And strangely, this is the crazy part. It sits on the same level as pleasurable sensations. There's a weird thing when you start to feel sensation on your whole body. You feel this tingling sensation as your sensitivity for sensation increases because you're paying so much attention to these sort of bland parts of your body, like your, shin bone or, your calf, your just random places in your chest that you don't feel many sensations. Our fingers and our toes and our face are a lot more sensitive, so it's easy to feel sensation there. I'm sure if you sat right now and you said, how's my hand feeling? You would feel this kind of vibration or tingling in your fingers. But you eventually build up your sensitivity to get that everywhere. And it feels quite pleasurable. It's actually quite nice to go through your body and feel that tingling. It's quite like, or vibration. It's quite nice. But somehow the pain, when we examine it for what it is, when we reflect it in our mind, in our consciousness, I should say, like a clean mirror, all of a sudden it's on the same level as the pleasurable experiences, because it's all just sensation. It's all just sensation worthy of our attention. It's not bad sensation. It's not good sensation. It's not sensation that I hope ends soon. It's not sensation that I hope lasts forever. There's no attachment here. And instead, we're just present. We're just learning. We're just examining with a clean, clear mind, or clean, clear consciousness, what is arising in us. And it's all kind of equal. And this is the development of equanimity. Equanimity is one of the goals of the course. It's the development of the ability to say, oh, pleasurable experience is happening? Well, that's okay, but I don't need it. If it disappears, that'll be fine. It's okay that this is happening, but I don't need this to be okay. I'm steady. My mind is steady. Even though there's pleasure trying to pull me over here, make me grasp it and cling to it and desire it and feel attached to it. And same thing when pain arises, instead of going, so averse to this, I don't want this, get this away from me, we can just examine it and go, you know what, I'm actually steady. My mind is steady and equanimous and calm, and it's willing to be here. I'm not knocked off my balance by pain or by pleasure. I'm just here, and everything is just arising, and that's okay with me. So that's one of the goals of the courses, and I hope that I've kind of been clear about how the method does this by scanning the body, building up sensitivity to the point where you can feel pleasurable, sort of vibrationally tingly sensations, but you're also sitting for a long time, so you also feel some pain sensations or discomfort. And by getting out of our conceptual thoughts about the future, about the past, this is my back pain again. My back pain is back. I haven't had this in 2 years, but now, just like last time, it's going to last for so long. It's getting out of this realm of thought and prediction and memories and just concepts, the conceptual realm. By sinking back down into the presence, we go, okay, it's just this. This is what's going on. Okay, it's just this. And we can remain balanced, remain equanimous. And this all sort of brings me back around with the monk. You probably put it together. The monk who's walking across the hot coals is exercising the same degree, the same practice of equanimity to a much larger degree. The pain that he's experiencing is probably way more than the pain in my knee or the pain in my back that I was experiencing. And yet the monk is okay with that. The monk's mental faculties are not thrown off balance. He's not going, I have to get away from here, or things need to be different. He's just taking each step and feeling his body, feeling his sensations as they are, as they're arising. Okay, this foot is feeling heat and searing, and I'm smelling smoke. This is what's happening. Now my body is feeling this, just step by step. Body is feeling this now. Body is feeling this now. And on until it gets to the end. And presumably he keeps going, because I'm sure his feet are really sore and will be for some time. And so you might be saying, what the hell, Will? What are you doing telling me to either A, go on a 10-day silent retreat? I can't do that. Or B, walk across hot coals or something. This is ridiculous. And that's not what I'm telling you to do, though I do recommend the Vipassana retreats. They're really good. There are some caveats to that, and they'll ask you about certain maybe mental health conditions that you have, or trauma in your background that you might have that might disqualify you from the course a little bit. They might say, well, first you should probably go through this kind of therapy to make this course more helpful to you. So there are some more caveats, but I'd say that, most people can do this. They're also free, which is pretty gnarly. They're free, they're international, there's courses all over the world, and they're volunteer run. And they're free. It's great. It's a no-brainer. It's a really cute organization where it's all just people trying to help other people by giving them this great meditation technique. So that's really sweet. So I hope that's a nice little tidbit for you. But you don't have to do that. And you don't have to walk across hot coals. Walking across hot coals or sitting with back pain for hours is not the goal here. But essentially, equanimity should be everyone's goal. because we all have to go through pain and suffering. This is the Buddha's message. You know, he leaves the palace. He's a prince, right? The Buddha originally, or a princely kind of guy. And he leaves the palace and he goes, oh my God, there's a sick guy there. That's horrible. And he goes, oh geez, everyone's going to get sick. That's pretty nasty. Then he sees like a old dying guy and he goes, oh geez, that guy's so old. Oh geez, I guess everyone's getting old. I guess I'm going to have to be that old guy. And then he sees a dead guy and he goes, oh geez, we're going to all be dead as well. This is crazy. He'd been sheltered from all these sort of truths of the world. And then he gets hit by them and he goes, everyone experiences suffering. I am not exempt. Everybody is going to die. I am not exempt. Everyone is going to feel sickness and an old age, and I am not exempt. This is a huge truth of the world. When we see someone else suffering, that suffering is common for us. When we see someone experiencing loss, oh, they are divorced from their, partner, or they lost their leg or whatever. You're losing your leg. I'm losing my legs. Whether they get chopped off while I'm still alive or I just die and I don't get to have them anymore, everybody's losing their legs. Everybody's going to paralysis town, or worse, death town. We're all going. Everybody is going. In the words of, I think it's William McKinley, whose wife says, oh, I want to go too. I want to go too, because he's dying. And he says, we're all going. That's his last words. We are all going. This is so true. And we all we have pain in the post. It's in the post. Suffering is in the post. Loss, grief, it's in the post. It's coming for all of us. Everything that arises passes away. Every nice thing you've ever seen is going out the door into non-existence. Every cupcake, every lounge chair, it's all going to the bin, to non-existent land eventually. And so are we. And so if we're attached to all this stuff, if we feel really deep desires, oh, I have to have that, then when we don't get it, we feel suffering. If we're really attached to what we do have, oh, I have to keep this shirt. I love this shirt so much and they don't make them anymore. And then all of a sudden I spill something on the shirt, I tear the shirt, I feel suffering. Of course I do. Because I'm so attached, I'm clinging. I need nice experiences. I hate bad experiences. Keep the bad experiences away. Keep the nice ones here close to my chest. Oh, that's better. Oh, that feels good. But we can't control our lives like this. And in fact, trying to control our lives like this it's grasping even tighter. It's trying even harder. It's gripping tighter and strangling life, trying to squeeze the juice out of life, which naturally is much more difficult and much more strenuous, includes much more suffering than the easeful, equanimous, accepting path, which is what Vipassana is trying to cultivate. And most spiritual traditions, if not all of them, all true spiritual traditions, you could say, are trying to cultivate. And the beautiful thing is that this wisdom is available to everyone. Not only do I chat about it on this, channel, like and subscribe, but also we, like the Waking Up app is there. It's free on request, which is amazing. It's filled with wisdom like this, filled with teachings from Taoism and Buddhism and, Hinduism, just a million different contemplative traditions. But then you go onto each of the teachers, and then I can go onto their private websites, and there's thousands of hours of these teachings. There's meditation out the wazoo, guided meditations. Otherwise, there's a million different techniques, a million ways to develop this equanimity. And ultimately, the equanimity frees us from the shackles of hedonism. It frees us from the constraint of, if this doesn't go well, I will suffer. If this good thing that I have is taken away from me, I will suffer. If I lose my job, suffering. If I get this job, pleasure. But if I don't get the job, oh, it's suffering. Like, do we really want to be hooked up to the world in this way, where our well-being is held hostage until we get what we want out of the world, until these conditions are met? Like, oh, I'm going to feel so bad until I get my milkshake. And then you get the milkshake and you go, oh, it's so good. But you were sucking on the really sugary bit at the bottom of the milkshake that's settled on the milk. And so once you get past that, you go, oh, it's just milk now. What am I going to, oh, I feel so disappointed. What the heck? Is this how we want to live? holding our happiness hostage until certain conditions are met. I'll feel good when the assignment is done. I'll feel good when I finish this chapter. I'll feel good when I've exercised and done my yoga and meditated. Then I'll feel okay. Then I'll relax. Is this how we want to live? Because I did a video about addiction the other day, and I'll put it up here, which is a similar kind of thing. It's like, do we want to be addicts for good experiences, addicts for pleasure, addicts for fulfillment and meaning and joy? Or can we instead find some kind of fundamental well-being in our consciousness, this clean mirror, this open awareness that we have access to through meditation and practicing sort of spiritual practices? Do we want to instead find our well-being in that the constant sort of constellation of awareness and all of its contents? The context of experience. We've got all this content and experience, all chairs over there, sight is going on here, and I've got hearing going on, and thought, that's all content. But the context of experience, when I drop back, I've got awareness, consciousness, that includes everything. And there, it's always quiet. I have a lot more equanimity. It's this clean mirror that I was talking about. By finding our well-being there and practicing, we can glimpse it, and then we can practice it and develop it, cultivate it more. Get more moments like that in a day where we go like, oh, I'm actually fine. Like, I was actually in a bit of a trap of being like, once this video is recorded and uploaded, then I'll be okay. Oh, I was in a trap. I was thinking that I have to be clenched until I get to a certain point. I have to be dissatisfied until I arrive. Instead of going, oh no, it's just a journey. I'm on a journey. I'm on a ride, as Bill Hicks said. Oh, it's a ride. Okay, I'm on the ride. I'm on this part of the ride. Cool. Let's enjoy this part of the ride, Yeah, I hope this was clear enough. I think it's been a bit of a long button, but I think it's huge. It's like such a big. The path is the divergent path of well-being found in the clear openness of awareness that is always present, and well-being found in pleasure and avoidance of pain. The two paths, there couldn't be more. Like, one is a prison, a prison of, I have to have things work out. I have to have these experiences that, I've just gone over. I won't rehash it too much. And the other is so free because we always have access to it. It's always already present. Awareness is already here. Consciousness is already here. All we need to do is recognize its real nature instead of being caught in this dream of, maybe things need to be this way. Maybe I won't be happy until this happens, on and on. So I hope this has been useful. I hope this has been like a clear explanation that has helped you. And if you need any resources on the path, so you're not like, oh, I have to listen to another 20 minutes of that Australian guy rambling about non-duality and consciousness. I don't want to do that. I want someone else. I want a Scottish guy who teaches me this stuff or whatever. If you want someone else, I'm not implying that you're a racist, but if you want someone else or some other way of hearing this, let me know, and I think I could provide some early steps there that would lead to further steps. This has been Kind Regards to the show. I hope you enjoyed, and there's a Substack link where I write articles about this kind of stuff, about philosophy and self-help and like how we can live better, simply put, how we can live better lives, how we can enjoy our lives more. And there's also a Substack and a Spotify and a YouTube link, so you can listen to this content if you like to listen to it, or you watch it if you like to watch it. Thanks very much. I hope you have a great day. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate the engagement in this channel. It's really nice to know that people enjoy the content. That's what a gift. So thanks very much. See ya.